Hi there, everyone. It's Anthony. You know what time it is. I am here with the one, the only, the great, the magnificent,
Kylan.
and we are about to react to another episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So, this is season 3, episode 2, Dead Man's Party. After episode 1, my expectations are pretty high. It looks like this season is off to a good start. Looks like they've got even more better production quality. Buffy is back in Sunnydale. So things are really looking up. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. You got any predictions, maybe based off the title or just based off what we've seen of season 3 so far, Kylan?
I'm anticipating a Monster of the Week episode, really.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of just wanting to see more of where they're going to go with season 3, you know?
Yeah.
Like, are they going to introduce a new theme in this episode? Is something else going to be like, are they going to build on what they already have? Like, are they going to show us some story or whatever? I have a feeling it'll be a Monster of the Week episode, though.
True. I mean, if you think back to season 2, the first episode was kind of wrapping up themes that had been, prevalent in season 1. And then their second episode was a Monster of the Week. And this past episode we just saw, was kind of wrapping up some things that happened in season 2 and whatnot. So, yeah, that's interesting to see if they're about to take us in a new direction and how quickly they are. Maybe this will be another Monster of the Week like season 2, episode 2 was. So,
yeah.
Looking forward to seeing. But I don't remember what it is. I've seen this before, this show, but I don't remember everything about it. So
You said it's called Dead Man Walking?
Yeah, Dead Man's Party.
Dead Man's Party.
Yep.
So probably somewhere at the Bronze.
Okay. Good prediction. Well, then let's go ahead and get into it. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 3, Episode 2, Dead Man's Party.
So this has to be like right at the end of the last episode.
Yeah. She's just getting settled back in. Whoa.
Mom.
She startled me. There's a hole in the wall now.
You going out? Will you be slaying?
Only if you give me lip.
Can I make you a sandwich or something?
She's so scared to lose her again.
Here she is back. But I'd be worried too, I guess.
Yeah. Ooh. This is Xander.
I knew it was him.
Didn't anyone
You could tell
ever
by his
warn you about
ears.
playing with pointy sticks? It's all fun and games until somebody leaves.
Come in, Nighthawk. Everything okay?
Nighthawk.
Nighthawk. Dang.
Show him how it's done.
And they're all just looking at her. Oh yeah, I forgot. In the season, now it's a new season, we get a whole new intro.
Yep.
We saw that part where Oz throws a steak. And that part.
Just because you ran away and abandoned your post and your friends and your mom and made him lay awake every night and worried about you? Maybe we should wait.
Xander always has a way of breaking things down. Similar to Cordelia.
That's why they were made for each other. So what's gonna happen with her in school? Because she's expelled.
Okay, so you're not wanted for murder.
And Principal Snyder is in this episode, so...
That was such a drag.
Chill's up.
This man is so British.
So were you like living in a box or what?
All he needs is some crumpets. Oh, there are some crumpets.
Yeah, exactly.
So skip the heart.
That hot dog on a stick is hiring. You will look so cute in that hat.
That's cold.
Yeah, really.
I'll go all the way to the mayor.
And he's like, I already got him in my back pocket.
Right, exactly.
Oh, I'm Pat from your mom's book club. I'm sure she mentioned me.
Actually,
I sort of took it upon myself to look after her while you were, off and away or what have you. And
Yo, what?
What is that a dead cat?
It was a dead cat, and not the kind that filmmakers like.
What kind do filmmakers like?
A dead cat is a thing that you put on the boom microphone to reduce wind noise when you're shooting outside. Oh my gosh. Of course that thing is gonna glow red eyes.
And that's kind of crazy because that's the last thing I expected.
Oh yeah?
Like, they didn't really spend any time on that mask at all.
So that means they did a good job of introducing it without it, you know, I guess, raising a red flag.
Yeah. But then again, I guess that hole in the wall could have been like
Foreshadowing?
them referencing it. Yeah, like subtle foreshadowing.
Now that cat just dug his way out of the ground.
Yeah, definitely brought itself back to life. Or the mask brought it to life. This has to be a dream.
It has to be.
They're waiting for you.
Am I dreaming?
Buffy, you made some bad choices. You just might have to live with some consequences.
That is a very good point.
I mean, I would think they would be happy to have a superhero.
More like a
Is that the
vigilante.
right
They
term?
don't
I mean,
take kindly to
Yeah.
that type of stuff.
Is it?
Yo.
Well,
He just grabbed that thing by the head.
Yeah, really. He was like, not.
I wanted forest pine or April fresh, but
But it kind of looks like a
Dead
raccoon.
cat.
I mean, is it a gathering, a shindig, or a hootenanny?
What's the difference?
Did he say a
Well,
hoot
gathering
nanny?
is
Yeah,
breed.
hootenanny.
Mellow song stylings, perhaps a large amount of malt beverage, and hootenanny.
Oh,
Well, it's chock full of hoot, just a little bit of nanny.
when was the last time you went to a hootenanny?
I don't think I've ever been to one.
Me neither.
All right. Have it your way. I'm just glad to have her home. I think we can get back to normal.
And
Why-
oh my, are you
Would
kidding
look
me?
away on that
Like-
one page. Come on, Giles.
It's like everything you needed was right on that page.
Exactly. Like, how's that the one page you don't look at?
Hey, Buffy. So what do you want the band to set up?
It's like,
The
what?
band?
Oh, snap. It's a party.
No, it's a hootenanny.
And so her mom was just cool with it going from a dinner to like a full-blown...
Everything okay? You
I guess
seem
so.
to be avoiding me in the one-on-one sense.
That was a kind of mean thing to do, like, to throw a whole party when y'all are supposed to be reconnecting.
Yo, is that Giles?
No.
You bet, Nighthawk.
Nighthawk. That's such a cheesy name.
For real.
Well, I'll just be, oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you should go upstairs and look at the red glowing eyes. Oh my gosh. Like, why is her mom okay with this? Like,
I mean, I guess because she's there. Like, some parents be cool with that kind of stuff. Like, have a party as long as I'm present. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
I just don't see why anybody would see the appeal in having a big party like that in their house and just
Buffy
having
was
everybody
gone, all I could
messing
think about
everything
was
up.
getting her home. Thought it was going to make it all better, but in some ways, it's almost worse.
Dang.
Oh my gosh. She walked in at the worst time.
Wow, man. Leaving again.
Oh my gosh. So this cat was just the beginning. A lot of dead stuff is just waking up.
Oh, Lord.
Finally.
There's the page. And of course, nobody can hear.
Now, buddy. See, that guy's got to do a shot.
He does not even care what he's gonna
Hey,
do.
I need to talk to a buddy. Is there a buddy here?
This man said, "Hey, I need to speak to a buddy." Like he didn't even like yell, even if that was who Giles was looking for.
I'm studying witchcraft and killing vampires, and I didn't have anyone to talk to about all this scary life stuff. And you were my best friend.
Dang.
That was
I
like
kind of felt that though, man.
I feel like Allison Hannigan and Sarah Michelle Gellar are such good actresses, so it's cool to see them in a scene like that together. That was like
Yeah.
the heaviest and most emotional scene we've seen, I think, between just Buffy and Willow so far.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had one in like the season finale of the first season too, but it wasn't like that.
Do you like my mask? Isn't it pretty? It raises the dead.
It doesn't matter, Buffy. It doesn't make it okay that you didn't.
What is this? Is this some sort of a joke?
Calm down, bro.
Mom, but please, could you
No, I
just...
can't just.
Hmm.
Buffy, what is this?
I can't
She was
just.
running away again.
No, I wasn't.
You know what? I don't care. I don't care what your friends think
Why
of
is she
me
doing
or
this
you
in
for
front
that
of
matter, because
everybody?
You put me through the
Straw that
ringer.
broke the camel's
I
back.
mean it. I don't know, living it up.
But you told me.
They
You're
really
the one who
turned the
said I
music
should
off
go.
so that they
You
could
said
all
if
hear the
I leave
argument.
this house, don't come back. You found out who I really was, and you couldn't deal. Don't you remember? Anybody else want to weigh in here? How about you by the dip?
No thanks. I'm good.
I feel like they just always put him in awkward situations.
Anybody could do. Okay, I just had to deal with this on my own.
Yeah, and you see how well that one worked out. You can't just bury stuff, Buffy. It'll come right back up to get you.
So this is their take on zombies.
Oh!
And then he turns into Mr. Killing Spree, which is pretty much my fault.
Cordy, get out of my shoes.
Get out of
I'm
my
just trying to
shoes.
help, Buffy.
Buffy, you know...
Willow, please.
No, let him go, Oz. Talking about it isn't helping. We might as well try some violence.
Well, there you go.
I was being sarcastic.
Oh my god.
What?
He just
No, they
killed-
just killed that dude.
Oh my god.
Cole, what? He was the man. He was like.
He was just there, man. He didn't deserve that. These are teenage lives just being taken.
She's... Oh, God, help. She's dead.
What?
They just said she was dead?
Yes, she said she's dead.
Yo, they're really just killing people left and right this episode.
Uh-oh.
Oh, she's not dead.
She's walking dead.
I think the dead man's party's moved upstairs.
There's the title.
It's the
Jinx,
mask
knock on wood, whatever. Should have been a dead man's hoot nanny. Is she about to put it on?
Dang.
Uh-oh. Oh no. She put it on. Did that thing just like molded to her
Generally
face?
speaking, when scary
Yeah,
things
it
get
did.
scared, not good.
I live, you die.
Oh, whoa.
Wow.
Wow.
Never mind.
She figured it out on her own. See, man, this is why I don't think you should throw parties. Look at how trash the house is.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I mean,
So,
party on top of a zombie
typical
attack,
day.
like, that's what'll do it.
No.
I think you'll find I can.
You had no grounds for expelling her.
I have grounds, I have precedent, and a tingly kind of feeling.
He loves his tingly
Buffy
feeling.
Summers is a minor and is entitled to. Would you like me to convince you?
Isn't that technically his boss, though? Like, that's a really ballsy way to
Yo.
talk to him.
I've never seen Giles like that.
For real. He did used to be Ripper.
Whiner, Baylor, Harpy, Delinquent, Tramp, Bad Seed.
Did she just call her a tramp?
Freak.
Yes.
That seemed kind of out of place. But, wow.
I don't know.
I mean, all the other words were like about her being like, I don't know, a whiner or something. And she just called her a tramp. Yeah, I'll let you start off, Kylan. What did you think about the episode?
So it was our first look at zombies. I think starting backwards from the last episode, special effects look pretty good this one. I wasn't let down by any of the zombies. They look pretty believable and
Mm-hmm.
kind of definitely kind of intimidating. Um that the little only thing the only real issue I feel like I have with this episode was the whole mask, not him like happening to just not look at the mask. And I guess maybe that was supposed to be more for us, but
Yeah.
like I don't know, it felt kind of forced to me. But
Mm.
I liked how they kind of continued with the themes that they were talking about in the last episode and in season 2, but kind of like took it a little further while still having like a monster of the week episode, like still
Yeah.
dealing with like the consequence of her leaving and how that affects everybody. And like I didn't really think that people would see. I don't necessarily agree with how people looked at the situation, because I don't think they like took into context what Buffy was going through. And I think context is everything for that scenario, because like she was going through so much. So like, and really only she can understand what she's going through. Like not really. And I mean Giles, like to a very small extent, but even he is not really in the position of being a slayer. So like I kind of feel like they owe her a little bit more of some leeway, especially
Hmm.
her being a teenager.
Well, I mean, excluding Giles, all of them are teenagers too. And I was actually thinking while we were watching this episode, like, especially during that argument they had in the living room, I was thinking just how really good this writing is, because to me, from my perspective, I didn't think any of them were really completely in the wrong or right. Because yeah, I mean, technically, yeah, they could have owed Buffy some more leeway, but I think the position they were coming from was 100% justified too. I think they all had plenty good reason to feel the way they were feeling and to be mad at her. So I think that it was one of those situations where, both sides had a completely good reason to feel the way that they were feeling. And I felt like it was completely understandable that they would come to kind of, a impasse or whatever the word would be at that point, because it's like, they both had a reason to kind of to be upset and to feel like the victim in the situation. Like I could totally understand why they felt the way they feel and why Buffy felt the way she felt. And I just thought it was a really like kind of powerful scene and just really well written scene when they all kind of started arguing and airing out their grievances. Because I feel like on a lot of shows it would have just felt a little bit more black and white. It would have just felt like, oh my goodness, these characters just aren't seeing the main character's perspective and they're being jerks and they're just making life hard for the main character. And if only they could understand the main character the way that we, the audience, could understand them. But it felt like in this situation, they really like it was just such a well-rounded um situation. Just everybody had a good perspective. Like I mean, like Willow talking about everything that she'd been going through and whatnot while Buffy was gone and not having a best friend to experience it with. And then, just them as a group as a whole, risking their lives so many times trying to, you know, to slay these vampires or fight bad guys or whatever, because Buffy had kind of just abandoned them seemingly out of nowhere and whatnot, I think. So like from that perspective, I just felt like they had good reason to kind of be mad at her.
Yeah, I will say, I out of all of them, I think Willow's explanation for why she was mad, I feel like I was like less like, oh, you should give more Buffy leeway. Of all the people that I feel like shouldn't have given Buffy leeway or didn't have to, in my opinion, I felt like Willow, to me, like kind of like fit that. But like I do see what you're saying though, and it was really good writing to see them all, like, because it did. I guess it didn't come off like that. I guess for me, I'm just looking at it from my perspective, looking at it like feeling for Buffy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I guess maybe that just might be me on the first watch. Like
Hmm.
I guess if I were watching it from a like seeing it again the second time, I maybe I might have like a different opinion. You know what I mean? But like for me, I guess watching it on the first run, I'm like, yeah, I want it. I want like Buffy I want Buffy to feel better. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
my hope for is that Buffy figures out how to balance being a slayer with while also being able to have her own happiness. Even though it doesn't really seem like that's possible right now, I hope that it is possible at some point for her.
Mhm. Yeah. It might also just be me looking at things from a very um I don't know what the word would be, kind of technical standpoint and whatnot. I mean, like, but and also, if I remember correctly, Oz and Cordelia weren't really giving Buffy that tough of a time.
Oh yeah,
Like,
no, not at
it
all.
was it was mainly just Xander and Willow and whatnot, who were kind of
Hmm.
her best friends and whatnot. Now, Xander has always been a bit, he's always had a bit of a warped perspective on things. Like, he's always, been one to say some things where you're like, oh my gosh, Xander, shut up. You know what I mean? So like that, some of the stuff he said in this episode did feel a little out of line, and that just felt in line with Xander's character to me.
Hmm.
But even Xander, I could kind of understand him being angry though. But I totally see where you're coming from too. Like, I mean, I feel like that's the thing. Like, you could watch this and completely just empathize with one specific character and their situation. I guess I just saw it from everybody's side. I didn't really connect with one character's side more than the other in this situation for whatever reason.
No, I feel you. I was definitely watching from Buffy's perspective, just
Mhm.
because like that's my girl, man.
Yeah.
It's my girl.
You kind of just mentioned this a little bit, but one thing I did really enjoy about this episode was just how much it blended and balanced being monster of the week and story. Like, it really
Yeah.
was both very much kind of to a T in a way. Like, yeah, it was a monster of the week, but it still really, really heavily dealt with the overarching story that was going on. And yeah, it heavily
Hmm.
dealt with that story, but this still totally categorizes as a monster of the week. And I think that that's like, when they're doing that, that's when you know that they're doing it right. When they are able to make a monster of the week episode that still doesn't feel like it's just, draining away the momentum from everything. Like, it would have been super annoying if this was just a regular monster of the week episode and all of a sudden we just didn't really get that much into how everybody felt about Buffy leaving or how Buffy feels to be back.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting because usually in season 1 and season 2, the story was kind of introduced. Like the overarching story was kind of like more like it dealt with like a actual person, like a scheme, like. But this one seems like the overarching story is more of like a feeling or like getting into like the psychology as opposed to it being like a main story, like there being an actual villain. You know what I mean? And I mean, I guess that could be just because we're only in the first 2 episodes, but it's just kind of interesting to see the way that they're like tying the episodes together is not necessarily through like a common villain right now. It seems like it's more of like I said, the psychology of being a slayer for Buffy.
Mm-hmm. True. And I mean, in season 2, Spike and Drusilla weren't introduced till episode 3, so I guess you never know what might be about
That's
to come
true.
around the corner. But at the same time, yeah, the season 2 didn't start out with season two's Monster of the Week episode and episode 2 didn't really tie into things as well as this one did. Not at all. That was some assembly required or whatnot. So
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely didn't balance things the way that this episode did. And last episode too, actually, because last episode was also a Monster of the Week episode that very greatly dealt with the characters' emotions and their story and everything. So if they continue to keep that up, I feel like that's going to be really good. If they can, every time they have a Monster of the Week episode, still keep that momentum going with the story, that would
Hmm.
be that would be awesome. Oh, also Xander and Cordelia seem to be back in full swing this episode.
Yeah. Back and better
Right,
than ever. Huh.
right, exactly. And Willow and Oz's relationship seems to have just completely settled in now. Like, it doesn't even feel like
Yeah.
a thing to think about.
Like because in season 2 they were definitely like teetering and tottering
Yeah.
on their relationship. Now it seems like they're fully in it.
Yeah, they're fully in it, and so much so to the point where it doesn't even feel like it's like it needs to be acknowledged. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they're just together. Like, the show doesn't even make a thing out of it anymore. If you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
it just feels very settled in. And one other thing that I found funny that, I mean, I don't know if I don't know if you've noticed. I just find it so funny how they keep on bringing that Jonathan guy up in just random situations. Like in this episode, how she was like, "What about you at the Chips?" And he was like, "What did I do?" or something like that. Like it's just so funny how they just keep on like he just keeps on ending up in these random awkward situations. Oh yeah, we talked about how that at the end Giles kind of going to bat for Buffy like that against Principal Snyder. That was really cool.
That was definitely a different side of Giles, you know what I mean?
For sure.
And it clearly worked because he seemed intimidated.
He did, even though he seems to have something going with the mayor. Do you have any predictions of what's up with that? Because, last season it seemed like they had Principal Snyder talking to the mayor so many times.
I mean, the mayor probably has something to do with the reason the Hellmouth is the Hellmouth, or maybe not even the reason, but he knows something about Sunnydale, and or he has more information. Maybe he's like a monster himself. Who knows? Maybe the whole series is leading up to the mayor being the main boss or something.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. Because it's they do keep on mentioning the mayor in throughout season 2, and then this time they said
mentioning
the mayor.
it without really mentioning it. You know what I mean?
Right,
it's
exactly.
They'll mention it. Well, I wouldn't even say without they'll mention it, but it's not. It doesn't seem like it. It's I guess if you're paying attention, it's oh snap, the mayor. But then at the same time, it's something that you could easily just skate past if you aren't paying attention.
Right, exactly. It was one of those things because they've definitely said it, and I was I wonder if Kylan noticed them saying that because I was noticing them saying it a lot, and I was I wonder if Kylan noticed it. And then you said it this episode, so I was so Kylan noticed that too. It does seem like something there. It's almost like they don't want you to notice it. So you're what is this leading up to? Because they keep on just mentioning it under the radar and whatnot. So that's interesting. Guess we'll see if that ends up turning into anything. Well, that's going to be it for this episode. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let us know what you thought about it. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. Head to Patreon if you want the full uncut reaction weeks earlier than they're posted on YouTube. And that will be it. See you all later.
Bye.